Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you once more to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, touch on the subscription button, but don't forget to like this video. In this channel, we discuss basically politics. If you are a fan of politics, or if you want to know the latest news in our country, this is where you should be. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, the president made it very clear that maybe it's time we look at other communities when it comes to power at the top. That was yesterday. So today, Ruto and his brigade were in Kayole today, and they really answered the president properly. They answered the president. And in this channel, I've always referred to a book by the title, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And even when the relation between the president and his deputy was not as bad as it is today, I had already predicted that Ruto was not going to be endorsed by the president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And I gave my many reasons. But the first reason I gave was out of this book called The 48 Laws of Power. Because for you to understand exactly how politics plays out, you must read widely and borrow from other jurisdictions how the thing went and how it ended. How it all started and how it ended. So I've been quoting this book, The 48 Laws of Power. This is a book that is quoted by very many political commentators around the world. Because it's a book that has been compiled through a series of historical events that have always come to pass. So in the book by Robert Greene says that for you to assume power, don't outshine the master. The first law of the 48 laws of power is very clear that never outshine the master. Robert Greene in the book gives us an example of somebody who outshone the master, and this person, his political career ended on a bad note. His political career ended very badly. This individual was called Nicolas Fouquet. Nicolas Fouquet was the finance minister under King Louis XIV administration. That was in France. In those days, there were kings and then there was a government led by the prime minister. So the prime minister ruled on behalf of the king. So we had the king here, then we had a prime minister here who died in office, and then we had Nicolas Fouquet. So the prime minister died in office, and it was upon the king now to appoint a new prime minister. And the person who was touted for that seat was none other than Nicolas Fouquet. He was the finance minister. Nicolas was very popular and he was very much loved by the people. He was a charismatic leader, very lavish in nature. He loved the good things in life. So very many people loved Nicolas Fouquet. And even among the political class, they all loved and praised him for his charismatic nature. So here we have a prime minister dying in office, and then here we have a very powerful and popular finance minister who is even loaning the government money at an interest. So everybody knew it was Nicolas Fouquet to take over the prime ministership. So Nicolas Fouquet also, in a way, to endear himself to the king, he organizes a very lavish party, ladies and gentlemen. A very lavish party, and he invites the king, Nicolas he invites the King Louis XIV to this party. The party, he wanted, maybe he had built a very big castle, so it was the grand opening of that castle. So he invites the young king to the lavish party. So the party rolls until very late in the night, and each and every speaker who rises up to speak praises Nicolas Fouquet, how he's powerful, how he's loved by the people, how he has built a castle that has never been built in France. So the king is getting jealous because Nicolas Fouquet's popularity is not only a threat to him, but the king is genuinely getting jealous. The king is getting threatened because even his throne as the king, with such a powerful prime minister, his seat is not secure. So the party goes on till very late in the night. The following day, the king orders for the arrest of Nicolas Fouquet. The main reason being he has plundered public resources. He is charged of corruption. He is thrown into jail, and he dies in jail after 20 years. So we had a very popular man who was the finance minister who wanted to become the prime minister. He invites the king to his lavish party. Instead of endearing himself to the king feels threatened, and the following morning, the king orders for the arrest of Nicolas Fouquet. Nicolas Fouquet is thrown into jail, and he dies in jail after 20 good years. So he loses his post as a prime minister, and he also loses his life. So he wanted to become the prime minister, he fails to become the prime minister, he loses the post, and he also loses his life. That's the fate that befell Nicolas Fouquet in France. So when you analyze politics, ladies and gentlemen, you don't just talk. You must give examples of historical events of the same nature. Nicolas Fouquet was charged of corruption and he died in jail. The author of the book, Robert Greene, gives us an example again, an example I think we all know. This great scientist, Galileo Galilei. Robert Greene tells us that Galileo Galilei was very submissive and he knew how to please power. So those in authority could sponsor his research, and that's the reason Galileo Galilei became one of the greatest scientists of all times. He was humble and he knew on how to behave to power. So he became one of the greatest scientists of all time. That's not all. Another philosopher, Gracian, gives us an example of the sun and the stars. Gracian says that the stars and the sun might have equal brilliance, but you'll never see the stars in the accompaniment of the sun. We must have one sun at a time. There has to be only one sun at a time. So, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Ruto incident. Ruto has outshined the master, and the master is very, very angry. He has reduced the master into a laughingstock in his home area, in his own bedroom of Mount Kenya. He has outdone the master badly in Mount Kenya region, and the master is now seen as an outsider in his own backyard. For those who analyze politics diligently, you don't need even to wait for 2022 to know that Ruto is a done deal, is going nowhere. The hustler narrative, and I've also stated in this channel very well, that hustlers don't love poor people. A poor man does not love a poor man. In fact, hustlers will vote for will prefer dynasties if such a name applies anywhere. A hustler would rather vote for a dynasty than vote for his fellow hustler. Poverty hates poverty. So, ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto and his brigade were today in Kayole. And as usual, they are very quick to answer. Any you just mention them a little and then immediately they answer you. And that's one sign of arrogance, if not naivety in politics. In politics, don't talk too much. There are some fights that you should just assume. Not every fight is worth. So today they were in Kayole and they really rubbished and abused the president. The likes of Kimani Chungwas, the likes of this albino man, Isaac Maura, the likes of Dindi Nyoro. In fact, they were telling the president that the president is dividing the country along ethnic lines. But that's not true. The president just said exactly what is happening in this country. Because two communities have ruled us for about 60 years. The president was only suggesting that maybe it's time we try other communities. The president is a Kikuyu. So for the president to say let's try other communities, I think the president is standing out as a statesman and not as an ethnic leader. The president is a statesman, and very many people were happy of that statement. Very many people were happy. I'm always online and I can tell you when the mood has changed. So back to this hustler story, I've also stated in this channel very well that these people you call hustlers have no brain. I don't mean to abuse anybody. These people you call hustlers have no brain. If they have the brain, then the kind of leaders we see being elected could not be elected in this country. These people, you only need a gorogoro of mahindi, atu, and unga, and then the story will be different. That is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Some weeks since the Msambweni by-election, the hustler group, these ones calling themselves hustler, have really been having a field day. But after Uhuru's statement, I think the discussion changed. Everybody was against them. Just imagine, these are people who have been campaigning as from 2018. The other side have not even started campaigns. The other side have not even declared their presidential candidates. But here is the president just giving one statement and the discussion changes. This only tells you that this group calling themselves hustlers, they are pegging their hopes on flimsy grounds. They don't have ground where they will stand when real politics now starts. And I've been saying time and over in this channel that at the right time Mount Kenya will all face the mountain. The moment Uhuru Kenyatta will make clear his stand, the way he has now started making his stand known, the discussion is going to change, ladies and gentlemen. And to Tanga supporters, I don't hate you, but I sympathize with you. I sympathize with you because you don't know how politics in Africa is being played. You don't get power in Africa through insults. Power, you only get power through persuasion and through humility. If you start abusing everybody and you pretend to be more clever than any other person, you cannot get power, ladies and gentlemen. So for today, I don't want to talk much. Let me leave the story there. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, now to decide whether you want us to continue electing two tribes, in, it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, now to decide. Should we continue with these two tribes that have dominated us for the rest of our lives, or should we think otherwise? And I think we should think otherwise. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.